Just when I thought Karen couldn't possibly escalate further, she set her sights on my wife. It was a quiet afternoon, and my wife had pulled into the ranch driveway to unload some supplies. Nothing unusual, standard property, standard activity. Except Karen saw it differently. She had apparently convinced herself that any vehicle not formally registered with the HOA, even on my private property, was a threat. And so, when my wife parked near the barn, Karen called the local authorities. Again, claiming someone was committing illegal property access and needed to be detained immediately. Minutes later, 2 patrol cars screeched up the driveway. The deputies were confused because the complaint had been vague and overdramatic. Karen was already outside, waving her arms like a conductor orchestrating chaos. "She's parking illegally. Arrest her. This is an HOA violation," Karen yelled. "You have to take action." I stepped out calmly, holding my phone with all property documents ready. "Karen, my wife is on our private property. She is unloading our personal property. There is no violation. The only person breaking the law here is you, repeatedly, for harassment, obstruction, and trespassing." Karen sneered. "You're lying. She's flaunting rules that everyone must follow." Then my wife stepped forward, calm, confident, and entirely composed. Karen's eyes widened as she realized what she hadn't known. My wife is the county sheriff. She had been sworn in months ago, a fact Karen was blissfully unaware of. The deputies froze. My wife flashed her badge, and the authority in her voice made Karen stumble. "Ma'am, I suggest you step back. You've repeatedly interfered with private property and have no authority here. Any further actions will result in citations or arrest." Karen's mouth opened, shut, then opened again. She sputtered, You can't do this. I run the HOA. I make the rules." My wife's glare could have frozen time. "No, Karen. I enforce the law. Your HOA dissolved months ago. You are trespassing, harassing neighbors, and attempting to obstruct lawful activities. Step aside, or I will personally ensure you are detained." Karen's knees buckled. The deputies, sensing her complete loss of credibility and the authority now wielded by my wife, calmly approached and escorted her off the property. This time, Karen couldn't argue. She couldn't protest. Her HOA power evaporated in the face of real authority. Later that evening, my wife filed formal complaints for harassment, obstruction, and repeated false emergency calls. Karen was hit with another round of fines, this time including legal costs for law enforcement response, and she faced the real possibility of jail time if she ever interfered with our property again. I watched as she drove away, stunned, defeated, and powerless. For the first time, Karen realized that her attempts to control the ranch, and even my family, had limits she could not possibly overcome. By nightfall, my wife and I were sitting on the porch, the ranch peaceful once more. My wife shook her head, laughing lightly. "She really has no idea who she's dealing with, does she?" "Nope," I replied, sipping my drink. "And she's about to learn the hard way. This isn't just a ranch. It's fortified by law, experience, and a family that won't be intimidated." Karen had tried to enforce imaginary HOA rules on my private property. Instead, she'd tangled with the law itself, embodied in my wife, and been humiliated, legally sanctioned, and firmly reminded that some lines are not meant to be crossed. The ranch had never felt safer, and for the first time in years, I could finally enjoy a moment of calm.